Var inte det precis vad man behövde på en torsdagskväll, va? Men nu till någonting helt annat. En av de få musiker i Västeuropa som har lyckats bli åtminstone halvstora utan den vanliga musikmaskinen i ryggen, det är Billy Bragg. Vi får se honom i en repris här, både uppe på scen och utanför. Utanför scen så berättar han om sina idéer och ideal, och uppe på scen så sjunger han om dem. Det är ovanligt.
When I was recently in America, I was very lucky to have a chance encounter with Bruce Springsteen in a public toilet in New Jersey. He looks over at me and he says, "You know what, Bill?" He says, "You know what? You should write more songs about women and cars." I came home and I thought, he's right, you know, he's right. I should write more songs about women and cars. But have you seen the cars we've got in England? This is a song about women and cars and guitar solos called From a Vauxhall Velox. She said that these seats fall down. I said if you pull that handle. All her life she's been waiting for something women to more. And all her mates from the new estate looking at sunshine. Her mother read her mail, and her dad was a policeman. Which I must say worried me. Some things have just gotta be, so we pass very fast, like ships in the night, of cars in a pit of light. Guitar solo. Some people say love is blind, and I think that's just a bit short-sighted. Some people, they just want it now. It doesn't matter where or how. The satisfaction takes a second place, so long as I can get excited.
You've been punk rocker.
Yes, I've been a practicing punk rocker now for 7 years, 8 years, and people ask me in England all the time, because I play solo, because I play guitar, you know, they say, "Oh, you're a folk singer?" And it's funny really, because the ideals that inspired me to play solo are exactly the same ideals that I first found listening to the Clash and to the Jam. And to the Sex Pistols, the ideals that anybody could do it, that you know, music making is not a mystical thing. You know, you don't need huge record companies, and you don't need videos and huge banks of equipment. All you need is a guitar and some courage. And
Something to say, perhaps.
Yeah. Punk rock was never about black spiky haircuts and leather jackets. It was about a different way of doing things, an alternative way of doing things, and I am still part of that alternative way.
Yeah. It's about the riot.
Well, I mean, it's just in 1977, everybody said that we needed punk rock, that society was in such a bad state. In 1977 in England, there was less than 1 million people unemployed. Now, there are 4.5 million people unemployed.
So how come the people are not that angry?
Because they're scared. They're scared for their jobs, they're scared for their way of life, and Margaret Thatcher can do more or less what she wants. But I think that the time has come for angry young men to pick up guitars again, and I don't want to see next year thousands of Billy Braggs playing in England, but I think we'll find a lot more bands who are coming up with a bit more thought in their songs.
This is a postcard to you all from London, England. This is called To Have and To Have Not. Up in the morning and out to school. Mother says there'll be no work next year. Qualifications once the golden rule, and now just pieces of paper. Just because you're better than me doesn't mean I'm lazy. Just because you're going forwards doesn't mean I'm going backwards. If you look the part, you'll get the job in last year's trousers and your old school shoes. The truth is, son, it's a buyer's market. They can afford to pick and choose. Just because you're better than me doesn't mean I'm lazy. Just because I dress like this doesn't mean I'm a communist. Factories are closing and the army's full. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've come to see in the land of the free there's only a future for the chosen few. Just because you're better than me doesn't mean I'm lazy. Just because you're going forwards doesn't mean I'm going backwards. "21, you're on top of the scrappy, but 16, you were top of your class. All they taught you at school was how to be a good worker. The system has failed, you don't fail yourself. Just because you're better than me doesn't mean I'm lazy. Just because you're going forwards doesn't mean I'm going backwards."
You do a lot of gigs, don't you?
Yeah. Last year I did about 200, and mostly in the UK, but I did also do a couple of trips around Europe and one in America with Echo and the Bunnymen.
You're alone. You're alone
Oh
with
yeah,
the guitar.
just me and the
Yes.
guitar. Yeah. Oh
How's
yeah.
that? Are you never scared?
Oh yeah, I am scared, but that's all the fun of it. That's part of the fun. It's like.
Don't you scared?
Yeah, of course. Don't you ever want to do the things that scare you the most?
Well,
You know, like.
but not all the time, not 200 times a year.
Well, no, but I mean, once you face up to it, it becomes a challenge. Once you get over the initial. I mean, when I first decided to play solo, it took me about a year to get enough courage. You know, I don't believe you can change the world through doing gigs and writing
No.
songs and making records. Revolutions do not start in record shops. But by raising people's consciousnesses, I think
Yeah.
is how ideas move about, by beginning argument, giving people the tools of an argument to be able to go home to their parents and say, well, you know, what are you going to be voting for Margaret Thatcher, or are you going to be voting for my future? And if we can give people that, even the little 14-year-olds who are going to see Wham, even them, you know, these are the people who, in 1988, when we vote again, are going to be have the franchise. The music in England now has turned in the last year, right from being something that was really just a distraction from what was actually going on in the world, into something that's beginning to move towards at least facing up to a few of the problems that are in the world. Not by any means solving them, of course, but at least I think the best sort of music reflects the society it comes from.
the time has come to stop just praying for peace. You have to actually get out there and do something about it. This is a song about that subject called Between the Wars. I was a miner, I was a docker, I was a railwayman between the wars. I raised a family in time of austerity with sweat at the foundry between the wars. I paid the union, and as times got harder, I looked to the government to help the working man, but they brought prosperity down at the armory. We're arming for peace, me boys, between the wars. I kept the faith and I kept voting, not for the iron fist, but for the helping hand. For theirs is a land with a wall around it, and mine is a faith in my fellow man. Theirs is a land of hope and glory. Mine is the green field and the factory floor. Theirs are the skies all dark with bombers, and mine is the peace we live between the wars. Call up the craftsman, bring me the draftsman, build me a path from cradle to grave, and I'll give my consent to any government that does not deny a man a living wage. Go find the young men, never to fight again. Bring up the banners from the days gone by. Sweet moderation, heart of this nation, desert us not, we are between the wars. My name's Billy Bragg, I'm from London, England. Thank you very much. Good night.
Det var Billy Bragg det. Nästa vecka blir det musik av annat slag. Det blir en hel timmes blod, svett och tårar. Det blir en hel timmes livekonsert med några av de riktigt stora inom bluesen.